we go. There we go. There we go. So we'll start that again for everyone at home who's missed this. Today we are talking about the money mindset, which is also about manifesting money. Like I just said, money mindset is all about integrating into your daily life because we want this to become a habit for us. I'm going to talk a little bit about me, which my name is Kirsty. I am the twerk instructor in Bristol and in Cardiff in the UK. And outside of that, I do holistic coaching, and that just basically focuses on being in alignment with your mind, body, and soul. So obviously the body element is twerk, and that fits in so lovely with everything else that I do, because twerking is obviously a release. It helps to release trauma or emotions that are stuck in our hips. So it kind of fits perfectly and complements all the other stuff I do, like life coaching. I do Reiki, tarot reading, I do yoni steaming, or I yoni steam myself, but also facilitate it for other people. And yeah, it's just about bringing it all into alignment to help people to claim their power back. Especially as a woman, it's so hard to feel like that empowerment sometimes. That's why I love Twerk After Work so much, is because we're in a group which is super, super empowering, and I love to be able to hold that space for other women. And it's all about allowing women to kind of tap into their full potential and create meaningful, fulfilling lives. So that's kind of what I do outside of twerk. I also have a 9 to 5 and all the other boring adult stuff as well. So I have a question for you guys. What would you do if you won the lottery? Does everybody know what the lottery is? Yeah? So what would you do if you won the lottery?
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, say it. Talk to me.
First of all, I'm gonna secure the payment of a house.
Yeah.
Not my house, because I already have one. So I want to buy a house, whether in the Canary Islands, in the Caribbean, somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously give my parents some money so they can stop working, invest at least 25% of it, and then go on a trip somewhere.
Amazing. Anybody else want to share what they would do if they won the lottery?
I have more things that I would not do than things I would do. So I would buy a house and I would invest, but things I would never be doing again include doing my own laundry, driving myself around. Like I'm over it. I'm really overdoing laundry, the whole process from sorting, loading machines, drying, folding, putting away. That would be a thing of the past for me.
Amazing. Shanice put in the chat, buy a damn house. So yeah, you've all told me what you would do if you won the lottery. So the material things, but how would you feel? Like, visualize me just coming up to you with a life-changing amount of money in this check and going, here you go. How are you going to feel?
Okay, so
awesome. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. So when you first asked that question, like initially, like let's say right now, currently, if I won the lottery, the first thing I'll do is travel. Not like rinse the money, but just travel. And then I'll probably decide whilst I'm traveling what I was gonna do next. But definitely use it into probably like property investment. Exactly like what you said, a tip, I think. Is it a tip? Yeah, about like, buying your family a house and so on and so on. But funny enough, when you said that, the feeling wasn't like, oh my God, the lottery. And to answer your question, I didn't have that feeling, because it's true what they say, like money can't really buy you happiness. You know what I mean? But it is convenient. But yeah, that's basically it. Sorry.
That's cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Jay, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I think, like she said, it's not really a sense of like, oh, now all my problems are solved, but I think it would be really nice to be in a position whereby you can fully like live in that creative space and not like have to take breaks from it or carve out time from other things for it. So like you said, you're working your 9 to 5, you've got this, you've got that, you've got multiple businesses and ventures going on, just to be able to eliminate that 9 to 5 of things of like, how am I going to pay bills, and focus solely on creating products or services or businesses that like serve other people and create change and transformation. Like that's what I would want to be spending my time on, not on like laundry, not on figuring out how I'm going to earn money to pay all the bills, but literally just being able to be like, this is a skill or a talent I have, or these are people that I see in my network who have these skills, and like now I actually have the funds to be able to like nurture that talent and make things happen for myself and for other people. That would be the beauty of that like lump sum of the lottery, I think, rather than like necessarily like buying a load of material things, because I kind of like how I live now, but it would be nice to live like this and not have to think about money.
Yeah, so Atty, have you got anything you want to contribute? How would you feel if I came up to you with a life-changing amount of money?
That's the thing. The feeling is the secret. So I think this is the trickiest part. Yeah. If you would won the lottery now, you will be so excited. Like you would be so happy, so hyped. Like, I got all of this. Like, yes, pretty much my problems are solved, or I can't even solve other people's problems, like maybe family, friends. So you will feel really, really excited.
Yeah. I think for me, it's going to be a mixture of feelings. It's going to be the excitement, the how my life is going to be a lot easier, but also I probably would feel overwhelmed. My entire reality has changed in a second. That can be really overwhelming. And this is often why when people win the lottery, they go into complete panic, they spend all their money and often end up losing it all. It's because they're not in a state where they're ready to receive. But it sounds like you guys have done tons of work to kind of be like, oh, I know what my dream life looks like. I know what I want to achieve. I know how it's going to feel. And you are right, Atty. A big trick about manifesting is attaching feeling to that. So yeah, sounds like you guys have done a lot of the groundwork already. So if we move on, my screen. Okay, so we're going to be talking about money mindset. So what does that actually mean? It's basically being in a state of abundance or money mindset, which is an empowering mindset that allows you to appreciate what you have and welcome new opportunities in the future. I don't know if you guys are into astrology, but Jupiter has just come into Taurus, and this is a big shift about being grateful for what you have now, because that's going to attract other things that are similar or like that. And it's the same with law and attraction as well. It's about you put out there, I'm grateful for this in order to attract more of that thing. Are you grateful for every single client that comes into your class? Are you grateful for every single penny that's in your bank account? I know it sounds really like, oh, I don't really think like that. But actually, if you're grateful for every single penny, you're going to get money back to you. And the money mindset is all about that you are not striving for enough. Instead, you're content where you are. And that kind of relates to what Jay said. You're like, oh, I'm kind of happy with how I live now. So that's why when you're content and you're happy, you are going to start bringing more of that to you. When you're seeking enjoyment, when you're finding your purpose and you're meaning with money as well, you need to understand your relationship with money. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and how I kind of got into all this, because I did not choose the spiritual life. The spiritual life kind of chose me. And I'm going to be honest about a lot of the stuff that I've been handed down through my family. So if anything resonates, do let me know. And yeah, so I grew up poor. I didn't grow up poor. That was the language that was used around me a lot. I did grow up in a council house. If you know, I did grow up in a council house. My mum is disabled, so she didn't work, but she was always in a lack mindset of, oh, I'm poor. We never have enough. And that got passed on to me. Even now, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have enough. But this is what we're talking about, where we need to look back at our childhood. How did people talk about money when you were a child? And that generational money trauma is something that we really need to look at. Has your family always struggled for money, or has your family always been super abundant? It's, where does that kind of land for you? How do you describe it? And having a look at unhealthy spending habits. My mum would constantly spend money that she didn't have in order to have things that we didn't need. Like when I say I grew up poor, I always had clothes on my back. I always had food in the fridge. I always had everything I needed and more. So I definitely didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up with like £100 pair of trainers every month or whatever. But yeah, I definitely didn't grow up poor. It was just the perception. And I think that was a really clear point to make is that it's your perception, and you can change your perception of something. It's not a fact. Feelings are not facts. So I used to have really bad, unhealthy spending habits. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, credit cards, loans, I want it, I'm just going to get it. And it wasn't really until I went to Brazil and Argentina last year, I had like a major shift. So when you kind of are around people who are just so happy with the bare minimum, which I've never really experienced before, you realize that money is not happiness. And like spending this money is not making me happy. There are lots of other things that I need to work on to realize, why do I emotionally spend? What is my relationship with money? And this all really tied in really well with Bami doing Money May. So I was going through like Money May at the time that I was in Brazil, and it just gave me a chance to reflect on things and just be like, okay, right, you got to stop spending the money, start kind of working out this relationship with money. You might be the complete opposite. You might think, oh no, I have grown up poor and I won't spend a penny and I won't spend any money on myself. It can really manifest in different ways in your life. So when I got back from Brazil and Argentina, I was really happy and I was really focused on my money mindset. And I'm telling you, like, because I was like, oh, I love money, money loves me. I was saying affirmations every day. I was feeling worthy of money. Money was coming to me every single day. And don't forget, I had like a salaried job. So money was coming to me from all angles. Like, don't forget, free things as well, like free cups of coffee. It's basically free money. So you need to count those things in. And I was keeping a list of the money that was coming into my bank account, but also all the free stuff I was getting. So I was getting like free coffees, I was getting like free things or like massive discounts off things. Again, that's like free money. And then I would have like refunds from my utility company. I would have like, I don't know, a voucher sent to me, or I would complain about something and get money off, or do you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah. So I'm just looking at the chat as well. Yeah. So yeah, like you don't have to limit yourself and be like, oh, because I have a job, a 9 to 5, like that's the only money I'm going to get. Obviously, we've all got this side hustle of being a twerk instructor as well, which means that it's another opportunity for money to appear in your life. Literally the other day, I started getting back into the money mindset. Like, you know, it's only appropriate now that it's May and I'm waking up from the winter. And I literally said to myself, like, money comes to me so easily. The next day, £60 landed in my bank account. And I'm just like, cool, if that could happen every day, we'll be great. And even if like £60 or £6 lands in my bank, I'm still grateful for whatever it is, because actually £6 every day builds up to a lot. So we have to be grateful for the little bits of money that come through. And that's how my mindset is sustainable. I just try and take a minute to be like, oh, thank you so much. I keep a list of the money that comes to me. I keep a list of the free things I get, because this is all money that is just coming to me effortlessly. And when you start to build your confidence in this as well, like confidence, when you don't have it, confidence is a fear of something. So when you start to build your confidence and you think, oh yeah, actually, I had £1.50 come to me that day, I had 20 quid come to me that day, and you start like looking at it all, you're thinking, actually, money does come easy to me. So yeah, I definitely recommend kind of taking a little list. So what do we think then can get in the way of our money mindset? Is the slide. So what gets in the way of it? Go at it.
My experience with money is similar to yours. So I feel very related in terms like I didn't lack, but in my house was always like next month or when I get paid and things like that. And I think besides those things can get in your way because it's a paradigm that our parents have put into us. You know, it's things that we remember constantly. I think sometimes we got a lot of things to pay, rent, maybe if you have a car, this and that. And I think that is also overwhelming because then you become like in fear of like, I put an example right now, I'm getting back up on my money frequency because with my house refurbishing, like it have taken me a lot of money. So today I was feeling even like, wow, and still all of this to get done. And I started to feel fear, like I was fear. And then I thought, hold on. I'm abundant. I'm going to have all the money I need and more to do this. But I think what get in our way is that that fear of not having it, that fear of I'm gonna have to pay this, and then how I'm gonna make it till the end of the month.
Yeah, I totally get you. Like, we have all these commitments of things that we have to pay, and sometimes it's about like expressing to yourself, like, I'm grateful that I have money to pay these bills. Like, I'm like, imagine what it'd be like if you didn't have that money. Yeah, it might be a bit of a tight month, but you still have that money in order to pay it. Like, me saying to myself, I'm grateful that I can pay my bills and more, is just another affirmation that I use, because without it, I would be fucked, to be quite honest. I would be, because I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. So yeah, again, it comes back to that appreciation. And sometimes we do go into that fear of, oh shit, I've got this bill or whatever. But then you're like, cool, at least I can pay it. I've got it. And you know what? If you can't pay it this month, you're going to cover it next month. You're going to get it done, because there's no doubt that money isn't attracted to you. That's the mindset that we like really want to get into. Like, you're a money magnet. You're walking around like a sexy money magnet. It's going to come to you every way. So that's the mindset to adopt. And every time that you start to feel fear, try and flip it into a positive, which I know is really, really hard. You know, we all suffer with like negative thoughts and intrusive thoughts. And yeah, you know, we're living in a time where all we hear is bad stuff about money. Cost of living crisis, global crisis, economy this, economy that, da 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 da. So it's about protecting your energy around that type of news as well. Like, in the UK at the moment, we've got cost of living crisis, and I literally like couldn't give a shit about it. I'm just going to live in my bubble where money flows to me easily and ignore all that scaremongering. I don't know what's going on in everybody's like country at the moment, but I know there's been a lot of like controversy across the globe at the moment around money being scarce, all that type of stuff. And it is really scary when you do see people in poverty and you think, oh shit, one day that could be me. But it's never going to be us, guys, because you know, the universe got a path for us. We're sat here because we're destined for greatness. It's not because of anything else. So yeah, is there anything else that can get in the way of our money mindset? No? That's okay. So something I want to talk about which can get in the way of our money mindset is limiting beliefs. Sorry, the slideshow is a little bit slow. There we go. Limiting beliefs. So for me, these are the most dangerous beliefs that we hold as a person, because we don't even realize that they are a belief. They sit in our subconscious and they hide there, and they do pretty much restrict us from achieving our goals, experiencing success and happiness. So I've just put a couple of common ones up on the screen there. So I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I will never be successful. I'm not attractive enough. This is what I Googled, and this is what kind of came up the most. And I've heard these in one way or another in like the 10 years I've been working with people. So this can apply to our money as well. Like, for me, a perfect example is when I first came across Work After Work, I saw Bami's lifestyle, where she was in Mexico at the time. She was like living her best life, posting all this content. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. But that would never happen for me. Now, nobody's ever told me that would never happen for me. No, like, there's nothing that would ever stop me from living a life like Bami, obviously. So I just need to find my idea, make it work, put the effort in and make it happen. Like, there's nothing stopping me. The only person stopping me is me. So then when you start to dive down a bit deeper, you're like, where did this limiting belief come from? It's just because I was told when I was younger, you'll never be anything. You'll never make it. Because when I did my degree, they were like, oh, nobody's ever going to hire you with a criminology degree. And I was like, okay. But I proved them wrong, and I worked in a prison. Like, that was my first job out of university. So sometimes these beliefs are not things that we have told ourselves. They're things that other people have told us, but we internalize it and then they sit under the surface. So it's really hard to kind of pick that they're there. So recognizing them is absolutely key. So when we start to recognize them, we can challenge them and reframe them. So ways to recognize them is just to question yourself. Why is that stopping me? Why can't I have that? What could I change that would make me feel like I'm worthy of that? Are there feelings that like I've not dealt with, which is kind of like trauma related, that are preventing me from having it? You know, we're all really good at managing our self-worth and our self-confidence as twerk instructors, because that's something that we teach. But you know, our self-confidence can hold us back sometimes. And, you know, we're all human. We all go through life. We all have knocks to our confidence here and there. So sometimes it's just about coming back to us and raising our confidence and our self-love and our self-care and looking after ourselves. So it's about recognizing they are there first of all. Again, this is hard. You know, you might kind of want to have a chat with somebody. You know, if you find that you're blocked from something, there's probably a limiting belief there. So you have to ask yourself, why am I blocked? Then you challenge them. Why? Why can't I have a life like Bammy? Why? There's no reason why. Why? Because somebody told me one time I'd never make it. It was like a solicitor. He was like, oh, you'll never have a career with your degree. And I just feel like that like got stuck in me, and I internalized that so much that it became this belief that restricted me from taking opportunities, taking positive risks. So it really does impact your life, these beliefs. And you know, this doesn't have to be just about money. It can be about relationships. It can be about anything in your life. And the quickest way to reframe them is about affirmations. Affirmations just rewire your brain. They rewire your brain. So when we constantly talk to ourselves in a tone of voice, affirmations just really are the quickest way to rewire our brain into something that's better. And what I want to say as well is take inspired action towards your goals. So inspired action is literally taking action that when you feel inspired to do it. Don't just do the action for the sake of doing it. If you wake up one day and you think, oh, I really want to focus on Twitter today, so I'm going to take some inspired action. That those things I've been putting off, I'm going to do them now. I'm going to market that class. I'm going to push that content out. I'm going to film that content. I'm going to do that video, whatever it is. When you're feeling inspired, again, the importance of the feeling, then just keep going with it. Sorry, I had a little thing pop up then and it completely threw me. So yeah, take inspired action towards your goals and seek support. This is not an easy thing to do. So chat to us, like as stroke instructors, chat to us about things that hold you back. You know, you might think, oh, I want to go a bit deeper with other areas of my life or whatever, and you want to, you know, see a therapist, see a life coach, see a counselor, see, you know, have a good friend that you can just download on and have that honest chat with. Find that mechanism of support for you. And yeah, that's the ways that you can change your limiting beliefs. Are there any questions on that right now? It's quite a hard concept to explain. I'm going to take silence as no questions. I explained that perfectly. Thank you. Oh, Atty.
Jay was first.
Oh, sorry, I can't see everyone.
No worries, no worries. I wanted to ask, in terms of the step of kind of reframing them into affirmations, do you have like, I don't know what the word is, like maybe I'm overthinking it, but do you have like a template for like how you do that, or do you literally just change a negative statement into a positive statement and repeat that kind of thing?
Yeah, so if I have like a negative statement, like I can't do this, I can do this, that's kind of it. I just flip it on its head. Or sometimes like, for example, I was working with a client and she was like, oh, I just don't want chaos in my life anymore. I'm like, oh, so you want peace? And she was like, oh yeah, I do want peace. So sometimes it's not thinking about what we don't want, it's thinking about what we want and creating an affirmation around there, or just simply switching it on its head and saying, I can't do this. Well, actually, I can do this and I can do it effortlessly because I'm me, I'm amazing. So does that answer your question, Jay?
Yeah, thank you. I'm
No
taking
worries.
notes.
Atty?
Shanisti also got the hand up. So me, very quickly, what I wanted to say is like, I think seeking support, because I wish I could have, remember when you seek to me? So now I needed you, you know, because I've been, like I said, a couple of weeks on like, my vibration were low again because refurbishing is always hard and it's always, they find more things. So I felt like that for like a few weeks, like, whoa, I was up here and now my vibration, my mindset went on to limit belief. So let me see. So how do you realize that you need help in the sense of like, I forgot this? Like all of this, I know I've been practicing, but somehow I forgot.
So I like to think about it as in like, as a doctor, you don't diagnose yourself. You would go to another doctor if you're having a problem. So if you're having a problem, it's just thinking like, cool, I don't have all the answers. Like even as a holistic coach, I still have like my own therapy, my own Reiki, my own tarot reading. I, watch Jay's videos. I seek help and support all the time because I don't have to struggle anymore. And I think that is a really big point about you don't have to survive anymore. You're in a space where you're comfortable. So it's about stepping out of that survival mode and into like we don't have to survive anymore. We are independent women. We have our own places. We have the things that we need in our life. So now it's time for us to relax and enjoy being in our feminine energy a little bit as well, which is really hard because when you are challenging your limiting beliefs and you're doing all this stuff, you're very much in your masculine energy, so I think it's about creating time and space as well when you can, to have quiet time to be like, what am I struggling with? How do I get around this? And then think about the people in your support network. Even if you have to keep a list on your phone of people who you can call on when you need help, because sometimes it is just that visual reminder and just having your notes like people who can help me. Like, so when you open your notes, you're like, oh yeah, they are there. And take a regular look at it just to remind yourself that people are there for you. Because if you picked up the phone to me, I'd answer it no problem and chat to you about wherever you needed love. And I'm sure anybody in the group would feel the same. So yeah, it's about just reminding yourself help and support is there. Even if you got to put it on your fridge, just a list of all of us. Okay, who's next? Sorry, my screen doesn't show me everyone.
Fine, it's me. I absolutely love it. So far, I'm just loving this workshop. It's just lovely. And as you were speaking about the slide about the affirmation, it's so crazy. I'm such a believer in everything happens for a reason. And literally, I've been on that journey where I've been like applying affirmations, discipline, and all of that. But there's been times where it's like I've flopped and then I've just dismissed it and I'm back to square one again. But there was something about this week where I was like on Sunday, from Monday, these things are going to change. And it's like I've had that switch. And it includes with the affirmations. And I think I've only got like 2 affirmations that are on money, based on money. But things like generational money trauma, oh my gosh, certain things that you're saying, I'm just like, oh my God, it makes sense. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind if possible, if you'd like to say the money affirmations, that would be amazing. I thought,
I've got a list of money affirmations coming up that I use regular, just a bit of inspiration. But yeah, thank you so much for your really lovely feedback. And yeah, I totally believe that, there's not, it's not a coincidence that you're watching this or you're engaging with this now. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way that it's supposed to be. You're brought back to talk about affirmations.
Definitely.
Lush. Is there anybody else that wanted to say anything? No? Okay, I will move on. So, how do you change your money mindset? We have talked about affirmations, but now you need to understand that you are not greedy, okay? This is one of the most common blocks I come up with all the time. Is, oh, well, I don't feel like I want to ask for something so big because what if other people miss out? And I'm like, no, the universe is ultimate abundance. It's not about you being greedy. It's about you being brave enough to ask. And I say this like every week. You just have to be brave enough to ask. If I ask and Jay asks and Atty asks for the same thing, we may not all get it at the same time because, we'll get onto time frames in a little bit. But we, if that is meant for us, it's going to happen for us, or something better is going to happen for us. It doesn't mean because I've asked, I'm going to take away from Atty or take away from Jay. We are all entitled to ask for the things that we want, and it's not greed. Unlearn your previous relationship with money, that generational trauma. How do you approach money? What can you do to improve your relationship with money? Is it spending money? Or do you hold every penny? Like you just feel like you can't spend anything? Or are you like me, living la vida loca, just making it rain everywhere? Like we've got our own struggles with money, yeah, and it doesn't mean that somebody's better than others. I mean, living your life on a credit card like I did when I was 21 was probably not my best idea, but yeah, what I want to say as well is that it is just money. It does make the wheel go round. It does make us more comfortable in our life, but it's not the end of the world if we're in a bad money situation. If we feel like we're in a bad money situation, most people in the UK have debt. That's it. So it's just about owning it and owning your situation and being very like honest with yourself. Look at your finances, do a budget. What are you paying for every month? What are you happy that you pay for every month? Like, it's about really getting close and intimate with your money and just saying, right, okay, I'm going to do this. So yeah, just get close with your money. You want to know what's coming into your bank account, what's going out, and you want to be grateful for the fact you can pay for that flat tire or for the annoying bill that comes through as well. Be open to receive. So when we talked about what would you do if you won the lottery, and I talked about how people are maybe like not open to receive, they often will blow the money, they will reject money, they'll put themselves in this bubble of like lack mindset where things are just not working out for them, where things are just really hard because all they can think about is I don't have enough. You need to be open and say that, yeah, I'm open and ready to receive money. I'm welcoming money without guilt. One question, girls. It says I've got less than a minute. Do we need to leave and come back in?
I think so.
Okay.
But I thought Bami had like unlimited, like professional one.
I don't know.
But maybe in that case we all need to leave and just come back on the same link.
Yeah. So if we can all leave and come back in. Sorry. I
Yeah.
don't know why that is.
No problem. If you're not able to restart it on this one, just send a new one to the IG group and then we'll all have access.
Yeah, it should be fine to come back in. Fingers crossed.
See you in a minute.